So what you're saying is I should go over there, get on the minigun,
Yep,
and just bounce a little bit.
that's it, absolutely. Just do that, yeah.
Okay, I got this.
What the fuck?
Yes guys, what's going on? It's Ashton here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Season 6 is here with all of its glorious new additions, including Longneck Bloodhound, Eggline version 2, and of course, the Devotion meta. But one intentional new addition to Season 6 is of course the new legend Rampart, and in today's video we're going to be talking about whether or not Rampart is in fact going to be the new meta for Season 6.
Or if she's trash, just like most of the other legends they add to the game.
If you go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from your boy. But with all that being said, let's get into the breakdown of whether or not Rampart is meta in Season 6. So guys, to start off with, let's have an overview of Rampart as a whole. Rampart is a defensive legend and is the second defensive legend ever added into Apex Legends. Her passive ability is that she can reload LMGs faster and has more ammo in each clip of every LMG in the game. Her tactical ability is that she deploys portable cover in the form of an amped wall. Amped walls deflect incoming fire whilst also charging outgoing fire, making the damage output even higher. Rampart's ultimate is that she can deploy a portable minigun and sit down anywhere she likes on the map and rain fire on anyone, and also this minigun can be used by anyone on the team, not just Rampart, and also enemy teams can hijack this minigun if they take your position and use it for themselves, so be careful not to leave it behind when you're done. So then, Rampart's passive ability, is it strong? Is it weak? What is the point of it? Well, let me tell you something. If you are into the energy meta of Season 6, which, if you're not, then you probably should be because it's so ridiculously strong, like...
What, do you live under a rock? Like, come on.
Anyway, the Devotion is so ridiculously strong right now, and even though it is going to be receiving a nerf in the coming days, I'm going to tell you straight up right now, that nerf will not make it feel any less powerful, especially if you're playing Rampart. If you're someone who plans to run around every single game with a Devotion with turbocharger, I highly recommend using Rampart because of course she has the extra bullets in every magazine, which really stacks up to increase the damage by a lot, and also the fact that she reloads the Devotion faster because it's an LMG. Honestly, I would recommend using Rampart if you're someone who just plans to run around with the Devotion, which honestly everyone seems to be doing right now anyway, so why not just use Rampart, up the bullet count in every magazine, and reload faster, because that's going to help you when you're blasting down a 3-man with a Devotion. In all seriousness though guys, of course this passive is quite strong if you are a player who likes to pick up LMGs often. I personally am not someone who tends to run LMGs in my loadout all that often, so personally this passive doesn't do much for me. However, if you know you're someone who likes to run Spitfire, Devotion or L-Star, I would highly recommend using Rampart for her passive, as it's a really strong ability to have if you're a person who likes to run that weapon type. Now, when it comes to her tactical ability, Rampart is packing a pretty special and unique ability, and that is of course the ability to throw down amped walls wherever she wants. That's not just any cover, it blocks incoming damage for sure, but also charging outgoing damage to make your bullets even more powerful. Now these walls can be destroyed very easily whilst deploying by enemies, but once they're up and running, they can tank a pretty decent amount of damage, and if you get them in a good position, they're not going to find it easy to destroy. Unless of course you do just decide to spam about 50 thermites like we do. Now this ability lends itself to a very campy, cautious playstyle, one in which I don't personally enjoy to play. Now, if you're someone who likes to take ring early, set up shop and wait for that final zone to come in, then this could be the ability for you. Especially if you have a recon character on your team, you can predict where that final zone is going to be, set up those amped walls and that minigun and everything else alongside it, and you're going to be set up and ready for all of those teams to come and push you. And to be honest, you're probably going to be pretty hard to get off whatever high ground you decide to take. Personally speaking, I think Apex is a game that is best enjoyed running around and shooting people, getting in the action, getting out fast, being an absolute menace to everyone you see, and not just sitting on top of high ground all game, or sitting in a corner or in a building or something, that personally isn't my playstyle. However, I know there are a lot of people who aren't so confident as me, who enjoy sitting in buildings or taking position and playing late game, and if this is your playstyle, then Rampart is definitely the character for you. Now last but not least, we have Rampart's ultimate ability, which is of course her minigun, Sheila. Now Rampart can deploy up to 3 of these miniguns at a time before the first one that she places down is destroyed if you place down a 4th minigun. Now this is 1 for each member of your team, so you shouldn't really be needing more than 3 anyway. And if you do place one down and decide you want to move it, you can pick it up before you shoot a bullet and it will give you 50% back on your next minigun. Now placing down the minigun, getting on top of it and actually shooting can take quite some time, and you do have a restricted field of view when using the minigun, so make sure you're very careful about when you place it and where you place it, because these 2 factors are vitally important about getting the right usage out of the minigun. Now as you're going to see from this gameplay here, I tried game after game after game, placing down these miniguns everywhere I could find some high ground and a good position in the ring. I placed them down, even put amped walls in front of them. I just couldn't get a kill on it. Now this of course could just be
because I'm bad.
But to be honest with you, I think it's because this minigun is pretty easy to counter. Unless you're running up behind a team, placing it on some high ground behind them and shooting them in the back, I don't think any team is really going to fall for this minigun, because honestly it's so easy to outmaneuver it, especially with how many movement based characters there are in this game, and it's so easy to counter it when someone's on top of it. It's really easy to shoot someone off of the top of the minigun, and of course it's so easy to just throw a grenade behind there or a thermite or something, burn them and get them off the gun. Also, the laser sight also kind of gives it away if there's a minigun hiding around a corner and you want to be spun up and ready for a team to come around the corner. You can't exactly do that. If you aim down sight, of course it shows the laser, and anyone with a pair of eyes is going to see that laser and not walk into it, because obviously they're going to get decimated if they do. I think the ultimate minigun is a really cool concept. I'm not sure it's one that belongs in Apex or necessarily works in Apex, but time will tell if this minigun becomes meta or not, but personally I just don't see it happening. So then, is Rampart meta? Will Rampart become part of the regular Apex Legends meta legend loadout that you see all the time in pubs and in ranked? Is this a legend that is going to be so extremely powerful that everyone is calling for a nerf in the near future? Is this a legend that is going to be competing with Pathfinder, Wraith, Gibraltar, all of the top tier legends in the game? Will Rampart be one of these legends?
No.
Honestly, I think for the way that Apex plays, the style of game that Apex is, there are better choices, namely Caustic, for defensive characters that you can be running that offer a lot more for the team in terms of the area that they specialise in. So Caustic can probably defend a building better than Rampart, honestly, and Rampart's abilities really do lend themselves to setting up shop on top of a piece of high ground or a building or something like that. And honestly, if you're looking to set up in a building, I would always choose Caustic over Rampart. I just think Caustic's gas is a lot stronger and a lot more of a nuisance to deal with than Rampart's barriers. The minigun is a very situational ultimate that I find is very difficult to actively use correctly. I think a team has to be really caught off guard and shot in the back if it's going to be any kind of use, because any team with a brain is going to know how to counter a minigun and take cover, and unless they're really stuck out in the open, it's going to be a really difficult time for a Rampart to get the drop on someone and successfully kill them. Overall, I'd say Rampart is just a pretty boring character to play if you try and play into the way that she is designed to play. I mean, like, look at this gameplay. Like, all of these times I was on the turret trying to get a clip for you guys of me actually killing someone with it. It seriously took this long of just sitting on high ground in a good position, which is how the game is meant to be played when you're playing as Rampart. Like, that's how they designed the game to be played. I mean, look at it. Like, seriously, all this time, not one person, and when I do eventually see someone, they just dip out of the way, because it's that easy to avoid a Rampart minigun. I don't think Rampart is in need of a buff as such, as she's playing exactly the way the devs designed her to play, and if you really play into her playstyle, then I'm sure there will be some situations in which you are really glad you decided to play her. However, personally, I really don't think that suits, especially in pubs, the way that Apex Legends plays, and I think she's a very situational legend to have on the team, and one in which I don't think everyone will be desperate to be running in the near future. So to finalise my answer, no, Rampart is not meta in Season 6, and I don't think she will be. I think everyone's just enjoying trying her out at the moment, seeing what she's all about, but I think very quickly she will fall out of the legend rotation, just like Loba did earlier in Season 5. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below whether or not you think Rampart will become meta, if she's overpowered, underpowered. Make sure to let your opinions be known in the comments below, I love to hear them. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from your boy. But until next time guys, it's been your boy Ashton. I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy and goodbye.